So I am from Fort Worth, Texas, born and raised. That's where I currently am right now. Moved away for a little bit, but I am back in the DFW area. Always loved art ever since I can remember. I remember just like doodling and used to like draw my own little cartoons and everything like that. Art was always my favorite subject. I just love the creativity with it. And I love that there were so many different mediums you could really express yourself throughout. And I guess I remember a specific point in time I had been going watching all these glass blowing shows. And I was a junior in college and I was speaking to the glass blowers. I was like, so passionate about art, how much I loved it, but I just wasn't sure if it was something I really wanted to pursue. I was looking at colleges at that time, and they just kind of were like, "You sound passionate, you should go for it." And I guess that just kind of stuck with me, and I'm really glad that it did. So to me, art is not only a passion, but it's so much more. It's a way to express myself. It's a way for others, even if you're not an artist, if you like the art that they collect or the art that they like, or in my case, like I make handmade jewelry, and that can like really help somebody express themselves, even if they don't know how to do so themselves. Whenever they're wearing it or whenever they have that piece of art, it can kind of help be a different version of them. Difficult one. I really like to mix the I like to mix different mediums, and I also like to mix geometric and organic. I think there's just something really unique about that. Just kind of like in everyday life, I think there's kind of like a juxtaposition between the two. And so I think, I don't know the specific word for it, but definitely just like a mixture of geometric and organic is a great way to describe my work. So my main media is metalwork. So I'm mainly focused on my jewelry, but within my own business of my jewelry brand, I do a lot of the photo shoot and artistic photographs as well. So I really like to do that. In college, I did a lot of photography, and that was a great way to express myself, kind of get a little bit more of a mood. You can kind of really like use the jewelry to help build a bigger picture. And then with the photography styled and everything, the setting and everything like that. So I would say those are my two that I really collaborate with a lot. And I use that to help my brand now. So that's what I really focus on currently. Whenever I have that process, I have worked kind of all different ways throughout my education. So I've done a lot of, quick assignments, don't think about it, just start going. And then a lot of deeper projects where, you plan it out and you sketch for weeks. And I think I still work in all different ways. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes my best things have been the happy accidents that were totally unintentional, or I was just like messing around and it happened. But with other pieces, you really need a lot of time and sketching and trial and error. So I'd say a little bit of everything. I'm really kind of all over the place with it. I think with my art, it's a little bit more difficult to say as the means of that it's like abstract. Um, Sometimes I just kind of go with doing something more sculptural like jewelry. I feel like sometimes I don't even know what I'm expressing, but I just start working with my hands and like with the materials, whether it's bending the wire, cutting out the metal, soldering, using fire to get different techniques and looks going. And so sometimes it's maybe not so much about something that I've thought of, but it's more in the moment, the emotions that I'm putting into working the metals.
Do you
Slightly, but it's not something in the forefront of my mind whenever I'm working. I've definitely made some pieces that have a little bit more like Judaica reference, and I have spent a little bit more, time or something on them than maybe other pieces, but it's not something that's in the forefront of my mind. Color in my work is definitely minimalistic. Um, I really like the pure tones of metal and working with that. So sterling silver, gold, oxidized silver, which has a really nice like gray black tone. I do incorporate gemstones on occasion, but I don't know. I think there's something really beautiful about like the naturalness and just the fact that these are materials and elements that come from the earth and that you can use them for something like this. I think is really, really special. So, the work that I'm sharing, they're pieces that I do a little bit of work. Some are more one of a kind, some are more of pieces that are collection pieces. So the work that I'm sharing are one of a kind, super special, unique. Took a lot of time. They were a little bit more of the, I don't want to say effort based, but a little bit more of the planning and everything like that. So hopefully everybody else finds them really special. Just like the detail, I think it's really important. And it's something that maybe I didn't necessarily notice until I really became an artist, as there's so much to it. And a lot of people can walk through a gallery or walk through an event or just look at art and not really notice all of the detail. And I think there's so much within art. You could look at it for minutes, hours, however long. And it just really makes you appreciate it. It makes you think a little bit more, think deeper about the artist, but as well about yourself. And I think that's just something that, they say stop and smell the roses, but stop and kind of pay attention to the detail and look at the art. And sometimes it evokes something within the viewer that they don't even realize until they take that second step.